Hey, Eric Burleson again, your congressman from Southwest Missouri. And you know, this area has got amazing entrepreneurs and businesses that thrive and grow and employ a lot of people. And one of the best businesses in Southwest Missouri is Black Rain Ordnance. I'm here with Justin Harville and Charlie Spires, the founders, the co-founders of this amazing business. You guys are doing near full-scale manufacturing today, but you didn't start that way. No. You guys, if I remember right, you started in your garage.
Right. Yeah, it was a 30 by 40 workshop basically behind my house, and that's where we started. But everybody's got to start somewhere, you know, and working with the right people, surrounding yourself with the right vendors, customers, good people, and hiring good people. You know, we're almost 100 employees today, so there's no way me and Charlie could have done this by ourselves. You know, we lots of help over the years that helped us get to where we're at, for sure.
So whenever I was a state legislator in Missouri, one of the bills that I sponsored and was really proud to pass was constitutional carry. Now we're looking at legislation. Now that I'm on the federal level, I signed on as a co-sponsor of legislation to make constitutional carry nationwide. In addition, we've got language, and there's bills that would require states to recognize someone's concealed carry permit if they do have a permit to carry concealed from state to state, because as you know, some states don't recognize the concealed carry permits from another state, even though the education is the same.
Certainly. I've always wondered that. Why couldn't it be like a driver's license? Can you imagine if we issued a driver's license in Missouri and you try to go to 30 minutes to Oklahoma in our neck of the woods here, and they stop you
at the border,
right,
and say you've got to get a new license, right? So I think that's, there's all kinds of things that make it difficult. I think that the federal government, the states have done to try to make it more difficult, and more burdensome, complicated for firearms owners. One of the bills that I'm sponsoring whenever I got elected was, a lot of our problems that we're dealing with, including the pistol brace ban, when you had
bump stocks,
all of that,
triggers.
All of that falls under the National Firearms Act. And so when you look at that act, it really has nothing to do with keeping guns out of the hands of harmful citizens. It's more about if you're a lawful citizen and you want to buy a firearm, all these crazy rules and regulations about what that firearm, if it's beyond a certain length, then it's short barrel rifle, and you've got to get a federal permit, pay more taxes for it. Or if it's below a certain decibel level, if it's suppressed, you have to pay, get a permit and pay taxes. It doesn't stop you from getting it. It just says the federal government wants more money. And so to me, it was a no-brainer. Just file a bill that completely eliminates that act. Make it simple for people, because the federal government, that's what all they've done is made it complicated for the common individual to understand these laws. So this is the part that I have been looking forward to. Show us what you make and some of your best products.
You bet. So started out originally making the AR-15. There's almost 100 models anymore. Billet receivers, 16 different calibers. Make the upper, the lower, the rails, the barrels.
Now the best part, let's see how they are made.
Right.
So tell us what we're looking at here. You've got a lot of employees that are working to assemble what looks like these are AR-15s behind us.
Yeah, that's correct. This is our production area. We've got assembly benches here behind us, and we're doing AR-15s, it looks like right now.
But this is just this is the final part of the process.
Right, we're walking backwards through the facility. So if we go all the way to the end of the facility, that's where we have the raw metal and yeah.
We'll see where it
looks like
where
lumber,
it begins.
Yeah, it looks like lumber, but it's bars of aluminum or steel or whatever we're doing.
So we saw the assembly process, but this is where it all begins. This is where the beginning of the firearm happens.
Yep.
In this back, machine shop. You've got employees back here. You have a lot of equipment, a lot of machinery. Where does it all begin?
Starts out in the parking lot in the material racks. Comes in and goes through the saws, then it gets cut up to go whatever production phase that it's going to go through to whichever machine. This is probably what we're most proud of, is our barrel cell. This kind of separates the men from the boys, if you will. There's starting out, you know, we chambered and profiled, but we started with the blank. We had to source and buy those blanks. And then as we got bigger, it only made sense for us to make the blanks. So now then, we'll go in here. I'll introduce you to Nick, and he'll kind of give you the rundown of how it happens.
All right, let's meet Nick.
This is Nick Hyatt. He's my machine shop
Nick.
supervisor.
So I'm going to go over the barrel operation a little bit. Everything comes in from raw bar stock, gets sawed over at the saw, and then the ends get turned and chamfered on the ends. That way that they locate concentrically into our barrel machine where it gets drilled.
Okay, so tell me what it starts, and then you machine
These
kind
ends.
of these ends,
Yeah.
and that's where it starts. There's nothing in the middle. I mean,
Right.
it's solid, and this is steel.
Yes. Yep.
Solid steel.
4150 vanadium.
Okay, and then from here, it goes to
It goes over to the gun drill.
okay,
And now it's got a starting hole.
Now you drill the hole all the way through, and this is precise.
Yeah. Over 16 inches. You're talking a drill that small, over 16 inches.
So a drill bit that's 48 inches long, this thin, and you got to keep it perfectly straight down the barrel. That is what precision is all. That's the definition of precision right there.
So basically the same as the last, except the hole's brought onto exact size and the surface finish up to spec.
So you'll put that in there and rifle it. It's kind of pulling it out.
Pulling it
is
and twisting it at the same time.
So is it pulling any metal out with that, or is it?
No, it's all formed outwards.
So it's just pressing it into the interior of
sir.
the rifle.
You can see we're
Of the
around
barrel.
25, 26 right now on pounds. That is now a rifle blank. So this is our lower receiver. This is a forging blank. This is what it all begins with.
So this is what I would feel familiar with, but this is obviously
Just a block.
a block.
Yeah. Just a forged block.
And from here, you have to machine it down to this.
Yes,
and
sir.
this is so much lighter. This is
Absolutely.
made out of aluminum?
Yes.
This is made,
Yeah.
okay. This is amazing. How thin you're able to get it down to, how precise. I imagine that this process is complicated
Yes, it can be.
and proprietary.
right.
Proprietary.
Right? Right after everything gets done on it, as you can see, the mag well is still not finished on the inside.
Okay.
So this will end up going out to a broaching process. Nice to meet you.
So you're the one that makes them look unique. The different paints. Some of these painting patterns are unbelievable. How does that all happen?
So lots of it starts off with our custom guys. I give them an idea and then they will kind of run with it. We will give a customer kind of an idea of what we're looking at. We'll do some renderings for them. Like, yeah, we like that. Then we go from there and basically make it what they want as far as the customized. And then it's everything where someone just like, oh, I want a little bit darker brown, so we mix it with a little black in there to make it a little bit darker, all the way up to someone wanting to match their motorhome. So it's really the world's the limit on that. It's awesome.
In addition to painting, you guys have a laser engraving process.
We do. So some of our coatings from Cerakote, they're laser optimized to where they're designed to be able to be burned a different color once we paint them. So we can take a brown and get some blacks and some light tans out of
And
it.
you're able to do that through a laser. So you're giving it different colors through a laser?
Yep.
How?
Yep. So
that is
whatever-
mind-blowing.
Yep, it's the different kilohertz and different speed will different colors out of it.
And this is done behind the scenes with a robot.
Correct.
Spray
So
painting these.
Yeah, so we use the robot a lot for putting our base coats on. These ones here, they're going to actually they're just going to finish this color. This is one of our coyote tans. But lots of times we will use our base coat for like our flags. And then they go over to the next door and do the custom side to do the second, third, and fourth coat with the stenciling and all that stuff. And the nice thing about the robots is it puts it down the exact same thickness every single time.
So what also makes Black Rain unique is the involvement in the community and as well as your relationship with law enforcement. So tell us about how law enforcement plays a part in your discussions and some of your training.
Well, yeah, law enforcement is very important to us, as is military. My father, was retired military, Air Force, and also worked as a reserve deputy for our local hometown. Born and raised here, both me and my father. And as we started the company, law enforcement is something that has always been partial to us. And so we is I met Ryan throughout the years, and kind of our vision was to have the training facility in a 500-mile radius with our road systems, highways, and then our facility here. You know, we've eventually grown to the point where we have 325 acres of on-site training we can do. You know, and then we built the training facility. We've got ranges, multiple ranges. We just put in a long range across the road over there. It's almost 1,000 yards. So it's just great to be able to have that footprint where we can spread out, spread our wings a little bit and do what we want to do. But Ryan Shields is my lead training coordinator here. He has a great team of instructors and does a wonderful job. This is one of the fastest growing parts of Black Rain, believe it or not. I mean, we're on the, you know,
That's great.
a rocket ship to the moon, but the training just goes hand in hand with law enforcement, and we have guest houses on site. You know, we have great training facility, great training opportunity with Milo system and several different things that it just.
Well, and I don't think, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, I would think that we should all agree that we want our law enforcement to be well trained.
Right.
And to be well equipped and well trained.
Right.
Right.
And our schedule stays booked almost constantly. We probably 90% law enforcement atmosphere of what we do in training. I think we offer right now 22 post-certified classes through University of Missouri. And so that gets them those refresher certifications that they need. But then we also do some civilian classes, you know, concealed carry and some other stuff.
And you guys have an exciting application that you guys have been working on for quite some time. Yeah. It'll be rolled out in the coming months.
Yes, it will.
I don't know if you can give us a glimpse or a peek into what you're working on.
Part of our background in protection services and things like that, and then just emergency response services, there's always been this gap that's existed that now technology is able to bridge, and in such a way that we can do our scenario-based training for our schools, churches, and businesses that we train anyways, and now we have a opportunity to facilitate it on an entirely different level. And so this has been 3 years just in development. It's been in our heads for longer than that. But again, we looked at a situation and said, this isn't good enough. We can do better. And we're working actively with law enforcement, dispatch services, schools to help resolve this issue that's been rampant across the country for decades.
Yeah. And I love this because this is a conversation that we need to have, which is that, you know, this whole fight of saying we need to take guns away because look at these school shootings that occur, right? Which are horrific and no one wants to see happen.
Right.
But we all know that isn't gonna. That's not a functional answer. That
right.
You know, rounding up firearms isn't going to work. You're not going to take them away from the crazies who are going to do it. But this is an actual solution that no one should disagree with, which is,
agreed.
You know, get the information in the hands of people so that when something, sadly, if it happens, then people are able to respond quickly and they've got the right information at their fingertips.
Yeah, the idea was to have instantaneous communication that is clear across the board between agencies and departments that would be responding to the emergencies, such that we have clear accountability, clear communication, and we can have physical security. And those are the three things that we need. You know, criminals are going to be criminals, right? You can't prevent that. They don't pay attention to the laws. But we want the opportunity for folks that are sending their kids to schools to know that this school or this district is like that lighthouse beacon that says we do have a plan, we do have a victory towards that plan, and we know what we're going to do because we've trained on that.
That's awesome. It reminds me of the Amber Alert system and how it's evolved. You know, it's now a system that is better, it's more efficient, and it's, as they've incorporated technology, it's only become better.
Right.
And in the same way, this is incorporating technology into those, you know, nobody wants to see a child get abducted.
Absolutely.
But when it does happen, we have tools in place, including the Haley's app and the Amber Alert system, to try to stop that or try to at least deal with the problem quickly. And this is just a brilliant idea. Why didn't somebody think of this before? To have a technological solution to try to mitigate these problems when they happen.
Yeah, I've been working with schools since 2013 when I got back from Afghanistan. And so it's one of those things that people that have certain technologies out there don't have the background that Justin, Charlie, myself, and others have, where we've been in real world events, we've had this real world experience, and we've trained on it for the last few decades. And so we have this first person view of what actually takes place during a crisis event. And so we took all of that collective knowledge and then reached out to other subject matter experts to really bring it all together and collaborate. And so it's not to say one is more than the other. It's meant to really complement each other in such a way that lives are saved and opportunity is not lost for those that are in that event.
Ryan, thank you for keeping this community safe and really training the officers around the country to keep America safe. And thank you for the project to keep our schools safe.
Absolutely. It's my life's work. It is.
So one of the neat things about your operation here in Neosho is you've got an on-site firing range where you can train local law enforcement, you can train individuals from around the country, but right here is where you can see your products put to good use.
Yeah, it's exciting. It didn't happen overnight, Eric. I mean, it's 16 years of climbing the hill, and finally to get to a level of play where we have this to offer. It's exciting and it's rewarding. I think more than anything.
Well, Charlie, Justin, thank you for being such great business leaders.
Thank you.
In the state of Missouri, and thank you for employing and putting food on the table for all the families that you guys employ. And thank you for taking the risks that you took to be business owners and trying to create something, because this didn't just happen.
Right.
You guys worked to create this. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your service at the Capitol, and keep fighting for us,
I will. I will keep fighting
that.
for you.
We know you will. Appreciate you.